What is up YouTube, Marcel here, and we are back with another video. And as already mentioned, we are gonna cover off a couple of corner types, probably the most famous and important ones to gain big lap time on the F1 calendar. They're kind of stretched over all kinds of racetracks to improve safety, make the racing a bit more interesting, and in general, they are just great corner types in some regard. Sometimes, not always, okay? And we are gonna probably start off with hairpins because it's the most basic one. And we are gonna use Spa and China for that because every single corner, aside from just hairpins, can be different. It depends on is the exit a short or a long straight. Those are the two differences. If it's a shorter straight, you're kind of aiming to send it more into the corner, but less out of the corner. If it's a longer straight, you go for kind of a corner compromise with a bigger focus on the exit, so you gain more time on the straights, which makes sense, right? Because you need that extra little bit of pace to maybe line up an overtake or gain those couple of thousands that you wouldn't gain over a really long straight, like for example in Spa, where we're literally going flat out from turn 1 until the beginning of sector 2, Les Comps. So let's jump into the first hairpin, and I will show you exactly what you need to do, what you need to look out for, how to brake for it, and these little key points. We are also going to use the default setup. We're jumping right into it, and I'm going to do it slowly and then show you. So, first of all, of course, the brake bias, changing it as always. And now, as usual, you take the normal racing line. So you position your car on the left because it's a right-hander. And on this corner, we're looking out for more or less 100 meter ball, braking at that or after that. And we're going for a heavy braking. And we barely see the corner anymore whilst we're turning and still braking into it until the apex. To catch a late apex, you don't, like what you don't want to do on this track, getting a too early apex. Like we are braking late, and like if you hit it early, you can see we are compromising our exit. You don't really want, like, of course you can cut this inside, but look where you are going. You see that? You're completely messing up your line. So what you're looking out to do and what you're aiming for is late braking. No, I'm going to slow this. Okay, I will do it super slow. So we're braking late and we're going for kind of just at the apex and opening up and using all the exit curve. This is what you want to do. So let's go to the replay and have a look at that. So we're going from we're turning really late. Like you really want to open up that corner exit. That's the point of turning in late. If it would be a short straight, you would turn in earlier because you can carry a bit more speed in. And you can see when we carried more speed in and we got a bit closer to the inside, like a bit earlier to an early apex instead of a late apex, we got pushed wider on the exit. But we want the steering wheel to be as straight as possible on the exit, so we can accelerate as early as possible. That means more torque is produced, more power is delivered, and we have more speed for the entire straight because this straight is super long. So let's say this is the normal hairpin that you would face, like the classic hairpin. Hairpin, heavy braking, long straight. What you need to do, heavy braking, late turn-in, late apex, with opening the steering wheel as much as you can on the exit and being as early as you can on the throttle. So you go wide on the exit. Look at this. We're going to the apex and look at our steering wheel. It's already opening, like even right before that. There we are already opening it. Accelerating, using all the exit. Like we are literally just right on the limit before we hit the sausage curb, before we go off the track. That's what you need to do. Simple as that. Now let me try and get a good example for you in fast speed. And remember, heavy braking, late turn-in, and then straightening up the steering wheel as much as you can whilst being also early on the power. You're just looking out for a good and strong exit. And there you go. This is what I mean. Little replay. Late braking. Later turning, so we don't hit the curb too early. We still hit it more or less normal. Wasn't of course the greatest rotation, had a little lockup. And we open up the steering wheel as much as we can. Early enough, straightening it up. End of story, focusing on the straight. And this is how you maximize performance for a typical kind of classic old school hairpin with a long straight afterwards. Let's have a look at China quickly, and then we already have the hairpins covered. Alright, so we're approaching hairpin number 2. And you can already see on the minimap in the bottom left, it's a short straight after. So what we are doing here is also, it's a hairpin, so heavy braking, heavy straight braking. But we are aiming for an early turn-in. Little speed, but we're still opening up the steering wheel, okay? Like, it's completely normal. Like, we are still opening up the steering wheel as usual. We try to open it as early as possible to get a straight exit. But on this one here, we are turning in earlier, so we can also carry in a bit more speed than usual. So you get the idea. It's sharper hairpin, but it's also like the exit and the straight is a bit shorter, so you can carry in a bit more speed and you get an earlier apex than usual. Because you gain more time. Like, you're not gonna gain as much time if you would really like turn in super late just to make the car even more straight on the exit. Let's have a look on that at that in high speed. I think you could see what I mean here. This one was not a bad example. So brake late and straight. Oops. What was that game like? Sorry. But we already carry way more speed. I turned way too much. Like, I'm really not used to that corner type right now. This is way too much turn and we get a lot of understeer there. But you get the idea. We are turning in more. We are turning in earlier. Because we want to be early at the apex. We are literally making the apex a tiny bit before you can take it a tiny bit later. But you carry more speed into the corner. And we compromise our corner a bit too much. Also mainly because we turn too much just. But the compromise in turner speed. In corner exit speed is not as much. Because this straight is super short here until the next corner. So we don't have to worry about that. We mainly need to make sure we carry as much speed as we can, not too much, but more speed, more momentum into the corner than out of it. Because otherwise you lose more time. And those are the two kind of type of hairpins on the F1 game, on the F1 calendar. And yeah, let's jump to, I would say, the chicane section. So, perfect track is Monza because there are actually multiple chicanes. We can take Ascari as a chicane technically. Which is a high-speed chicane, actually with left, right, left. We have the first chicane, which is a standard, like the most usual chicane out there. And then we have a kind of more high-speed chicane is the second one. And with the normal chicanes, this is like turn 1 and turn 2. You kind of, because there's also the same principle like with the hairpins, there's a long straight afterwards. So we want to focus a bit more on the exit. So what we are doing here is hooking up the first turn a bit more like with a late apex so we can kind of get the car around a bit better for the second one. There it is. This is fine. We're gonna take that for now. It's not 100% perfect one. But you can see what we're doing. So we are braking heavily into turn 1. And we are going for a bit later apex. We're missing the apex a bit, which makes it harder. But you can see I'm still turning right. Just to prepare getting the rear around so we can also open the steering wheel better for the long straight afterwards. For turn 2. Then we open the steering wheel. And we gain time, even on my delta right now. Even though it wasn't perfect, there's still half a tenth in there. Mainly down to me missing the corner, but you get the idea. You turn in with the thought of preparing the exit. So you make the first corner already thinking about the second corner exit. That's how you have to approach it. Not, okay, I need to go fast here and I need to go fast here. Of course you want to go fast on both. But you will go fast on both if you focus on the second one. This is how it works. Usually, chicane rule number 1, if it's a right-left chicane, you need to make the right-hander as straight as possible so the left-hander becomes better for the exit. And vice versa. So on a left-right, cut the left-hander as much as possible or straighten it so you can get a better right-hander on and the exit. So we are trying to straighten this here, the car, as much as we can. So we can, look, the car's getting as straight as possible. We are opening the steering wheel. And that's it. And this is how you hit these chicanes. Now, maybe also try the second chicane because it's a bit faster. Was actually not too bad. We're gonna have a look at that quickly. So, same thing here, heavy braking, but because it's a fast chicane, you're actually easing off the brakes quicker. And you need to carry more speed into the first apex. But you can see again, here we're hitting the first one, but we are also preparing the second one. So we are as straight as possible. Look, we are getting close, but it's not unsettling the car to the sausage curb. Like, it's literally perfect. So we can straighten up the car. You can see that in the motion shift. This is still turning, and straight. You see what I mean? Turning, straight. Just so we can get on the power. You can also see on the delta, we're losing a bit of time, but then we are making it up. Wasn't a perfect exit, but that is how you take it. Also with the second chicane. And maybe we can even have a look at Ascari quickly. That wasn't great, I'm not happy with that. Like, the initial part was alright, but we are still gonna have a little try with a flashback. That is alright. It was slower, but it was alright. So, in Ascari, this is a faster chicane, like a way faster, like a high-speed chicane. You want to, similar to the one before, you want to cut the first one. Same thing again, because the exit matters more. You want to cut as much as you can to prepare the exit. So with this corner, we're thinking cutting, but we're already thinking we need to be early in the power for this one. And with that, also prepare this one here. And there we didn't do the greatest job. You can see we slide a bit off the curb. And we have this little correction twitch, which then like loses us this like track position. And now we have to turn in more for this corner, which makes the exit actually slower. Look at the delta. 40, and we are losing time over the straight. Just because we couldn't get a great exit. Simple as that. It's as simple as that, guys. So, the chicanes are also done. Summarized, heavy braking, cut the first one, or you prepare the first one for the second one. Like Canada, the chicane, for example. Because with these kind of sausage curbs where you can drive over, you try and cut the right-hander as much as you can. So the left-hander becomes kind of a straight. The exit always needs to be a straight. So you can carry more speed and momentum. Same thing in Imola. Imola right-left. Exactly the same thing. On these corners where you cannot cut, for example, turn 1 and 2, you just have to be aware that you open up with the first one, the second one. That is your only goal. And that's how you gain time in a chicane. Let's get into the S section. We're going to do it in Silverstone. I know Suzuka has also a great S section, but the S section is a bit more advanced. If you progress, you can apply the same rules to Suzuka. But I think in Silverstone, you can also not spin that easily. So I think you guys, if you're newer, if you're a bit more advanced, you can do it on Suzuka. I think Suzuka this year sucks in terms of the S section. You just spin out on the curbs for basically no reason. So yeah. But actually, you will be surprised with the S sections. You need to prepare each corner so you carry more momentum and more momentum, more momentum. So your exit is as good and fast as possible. And we are here to gain lap time and also have fun. but mainly to make you guys faster, right? So that's also what we're gonna do. And if you think about it, with S sections, it's actually makes sense that it's similar to chicanes. You prepare each turn for the next one, kind of, or you have the next one in mind, just because you need it. Like, it's a corner combination. The combination means not one corner matters much more than the other. It's just that you have to combine them. Like, you have to find the right compromise. And it's similar to a chicane. A chicane is also a combination of a left-right or right-left corner. And these ones are also right-left, just they have way less of a corner angle. Like, they're usually fast-flowing. So let's get to maggots first of all. And see if we can get through there on the first try perfectly. No, of course not. But we are gonna flashback this, so I don't have to go back. I will just not cut. That was alright. It wasn't the fastest, but it was alright. I think I said it nearly in every single one, but I just want to break you down what we're doing. So you can see it starts here. You can kind of in these cars not even see this as a corner, but this here, the left-hander, you can see we are going as much as we can to the left because there's a right-hander coming. So we are basically acting like this is a normal corner coming up. We're preparing our car, straightening it up, and at the maximum point where it's beneficial for the next corner, we start to make it the turn. And look, this is actually right before the curb ends. We're leaving the curb and preparing for the next one. And then we are aiming for an apex, which opens up the line so we can prepare again, thinking about chicanes, the next corner. So we cut the right as much as we can. We get a better left. Look, we are literally straight. And if you think, Marcel, why are you not going completely to the right? Isn't it better to maximize the track? This is the thing about compromising. You still want to carry as much speed as possible. And we are going full throttle through here. So you would lose more time by slowing down and going to the right rather than just staying full throttle. And here, we are just taking this as a normal corner, but already keeping in mind there's a right-hander coming. So we're also taking as much as we can. Look how close we are to the limit. Still going left. And now, when it's time to go right, this was actually a tiny bit too early, minimal too early. You can see that because we are hitting the sausage curbs, which you don't really want to do. You just want to be on the right part. We could have like let the car roll a bit longer, and with that, then hook this up better. And with this one, with the right-hander, then again, it hooks up the exit because it straightens up the steering and acceleration process for the exit. But we still managed to do that here. Look at the acceleration out of the corner. Fine. It literally straightens up. We have full throttle. We have no issue. And it gives us a better exit, especially with a long straight. This is really beneficial. You can also see it on the Delta, I think. Yeah. We actually... Let's have a look at the Delta. What did we do wrong here? So this one was fine. This one was fine, but like I said here, we messed that up a bit. Turned into early. Look, we lost big time, but because we actually made a good exit there with that we prepared the left-hander, we're gaining all the time back. You can see it on the Delta of the steering wheel. And we would gain it all the way through until the end of the straight. And this is equal setup, so yeah. This is how you do it. And it's as simple as that. And it applies the same way in Suzuka. So you go from one corner thinking about, okay, I want to open up the angle of the next one better. And then of the next one better. And then of the next one. And then there's the exit. And I want to prepare it as much so I can open up the steering. It's all about this kind of thinking about from corner to corner to corner. And on the final corner to focus, preparing the final corner to open up the exit. And this is how you master it. Similar to chicanes, and it's difficult to master, to be honest, because you have to get that flow. I think the S sections, they look the easiest, but they're actually one of the hardest. But when you get the flow, they are one of the easiest for you. Not to like completely perfect it, but just to get them in a really speedy way. But yeah, this is already it. I hope you've enjoyed that. In case you did, give this video a like, subscribe, and check out the other videos. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace.